What's good, YouTube? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Zeem and I post college programming and lifestyle videos here on this channel. So if that sounds like something that you like, before we really get into it, make sure you guys go ahead and drop a like and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so you don't miss out on any new videos that I have to post. So for today's video, you guys already know by the title, I'm going to be doing a LeetCode and chill. And I did one of these videos in the past and I really enjoyed it. So I'm just doing another one here today. And I'm just going to be picking a random question and answering it, as well as timing myself similar to what I did last time. And yeah, so I'm gonna log on real quick right here. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and choose a random problem. And you know what, I am kind of feeling like a linked list problem. I haven't done one of those in a while, so I'm gonna go ahead and do just a random linked list problem. Could just go ahead and do this one. And like I said, I'm gonna have my timer set for 18 minutes, which is just like a time that I think is good for interview questions, like for you to answer that within that time frame. If you can complete a question within 18 minutes, you should be solid. So we'll go ahead and start it right now and click the question. Okay, so given a singly linked list, determine if it's a palindrome. Okay. So you just have example 1 here, which is false. So a palindrome, for anybody who doesn't know, is just pretty much like you can, the reverse of the linked list is pretty much going to be the same. So for example, 1, 2, 2 and 1, if I were to reverse this and go from right to left, 1, 2, 2 and 1, it's the same. So that's what a palindrome is. It's the same. It's going to give you the same elements reversed. So as you can see, number 1 is false, number 2 is true. So I think what I would do for this problem is, just to get a working solution, I would just have a list and I would put all of the values in the linked list inside of that list. And then I would go and see, is that list a palindrome? And if it is, I would return true, and if not, I would return false. So that would sort of be my approach for this problem. Just right off the bat is what I was thinking. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that going. So I'm just gonna create I'm gonna say check is just gonna be equal to a list, and then I'm going to iterate through the linked list and see. So what's passed into the function is the head, which is just the list node, the beginning list node. So I'm gonna say, I guess, while head does not equal none, then I'm just going to append all of the values into check. So it would be check data append head.val. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the next, if there is a next, I'm going to go to the next list node. So I'm just going to say head is going to be equal to head.next. And this should pretty much add all of the values into the check list. And then once I do that, I need to check to see if the check list is a palindrome. So I'm gonna have 2 pointers for this, and I'm going to say P1 is equal to 0, and P2 is going to be equal to the length of check minus 1. So I have pointer 1 and pointer 2, and I'm going to start off on both ends of the list and check to see if it's the same value. And that's going to tell me, like, I'm going to go and continue to iterate until I get to the middle, and that's going to tell me if it's a palindrome or not. So I'm just going to say while P1 is less than P2, I'm going to go ahead and say if check of P1 does not equal check of P2, then I know at that moment I can return false. But I need to continue to increment P1 and decrement P2. So P1, yeah, so at this point, if I reach like the end of the while loop, then I know that I can return true, because that means that it is a palindrome. But I want to actually go through this and make sure that everything works correctly, because this is just sort of what I'm formulating in my head, but it may not be correct. So so for example, with example 2, I have 1 on both ends. So okay, let's just go through. So I have check, which is a list, and I have a while loop. I say while head is not equal to none, then I'm appending the value into check, and then I'm just saying head is equal to head.next, and then that is gonna fill up everything in check with all of the values in the linked list. And then I have a pointer that's starting at 0, and then the length of check, so it's starting at 0, and then the end of the check list. And I'm saying while P1 is less than P2, and I'm checking to see if check of P1 does not equal check of P2, then I'm returning false. If not, then I'm incrementing P1 and decrementing P2. So okay, P1 and P2. So yeah, so for example, if I was to go through example 2 and do this, then I would go through everything here, and I would reach this while loop, and I would start with 1, and I would start with 1 here, and then I would check to see are they equal. Okay, so I'm just incrementing P1, so I would go here, and decrementing, so then I would go here, and then it would be the same thing because they're equal. And then at that point, P1 is going to be greater than P2, so it's going to stop. Then I'm going to return true. So that's sort of my approach. I'm going to go ahead and run this and see what happens. So it worked. It was accepted. Let me go ahead and submit it and see. And it worked. Okay, so runtime 84, faster than 14%, 24 listen. Yeah, I feel like I could definitely do this in a more effective way, in a more efficient way. But yeah, it did work the first time around. So so let's go through the runtime of this problem that I just solved. Would be O of n. The runtime will be O of n, and the space complexity would be O of n as well. So the reason why it would be O of n is because the reason why it would be O of n for the space complexity is because I'm going to be holding all of the values of inside of the linked list inside of this check list. So it's going to have a space complexity of O of n being all of the values inside of the linked list, and then the time complexity is going to be O of n because I have these while loops here that are going through and checking each individual value as well. So yeah, I have this first while loop that's checking all of the values in the linked list, and then I have the second while loop that is doing the exact same thing, checking all of the values that was in the linked list. So it's going to be O of n being all of the values in the linked list as well. So yeah, that is my algorithm. So I feel like, yeah, I was able to do that in like less than 10 minutes. So I'm gonna just go through here and see solutions, better ways to do this. So like, if you guys watch my, how to use LeetCode the most effective way video, you guys know that I say it's always good to go and see, is there, another way you could do this? What are the other solutions that could be better? So I'm gonna go ahead and look at it right here. So the first approach, it says copy into an array list and then use two pointers technique. So that's exactly what I did. If you're not familiar with linked lists yet, here's a quick. Yep, so this first solution that they're giving is saying to just copy it into an array list and then use two pointers technique to just figure out if it's a palindrome or not. And that's exactly what I did. And they also give you the solution for Java and Python. So this is how they did it in Python. Very simple compared to what I have. So our current is not. Oh, I see. Yeah, so for time complexity, they have it O of n, like I said. And then space complexity, same thing, O of n. So approach 2 would be recursive. To do this recursively. And this is a way so you can use O of 1 space complexity. Interesting. And they give you more examples here of how to do that and everything. So okay, so it really seems like, so for time complexity for this problem, it seems like you're not going to get better than O of n, and then the space complexity, the best you can get is going to be O of 1 space complexity, just a constant space complexity. So yeah, so that was pretty much a good working solution that I have here. And then if I went through the approaches, I could see, a more effective way that I could do this, just to maybe, have a different way of doing it in my pocket and maybe learn more about, different ways that I could have attacked this problem. So, sounds pretty good. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out.